Welcome to the third interview in our series recognizing former women's athletes, coaches, and administrators from CCIW institutions. My name is Mike Krizman, and I serve as the CCIW's Assistant Executive Director. The series is part of the CCIW's 75th anniversary celebration, and we continue with former Carthage College student athlete Becky Belmont. Becky, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
A 1988 Carthage graduate, Belmont lettered 4 times in track and field and was named an NCAA Division III All-American her senior year when she placed second in the shot put. She was also a 1988 United States Track and Field Coaches Association All-American with a 9th place finish in the indoor shot put. Belmont earned All-CCIW honors 4 straight years and was named the outstanding performer of the 1987 conference championship. She also lettered 4 times in volleyball and was named second team All-CCIW in 1987. Her athletic success was recognized in 1996 when she was inducted into the Carthage Athletics Hall of Fame. Belmont went on to teach and coach volleyball at Waukegan High School in Waukegan, Illinois, and later at Warren Township High School in Gurnee, Illinois, where she currently serves as the school's athletics director. So Becky, reflecting on your time as a student athlete, how did it help shape your life just post-college?
Athletics obviously was a very important part of my life, and throughout most of my career, I was lucky enough to still be involved in athletics in some way, whether it was coaching or administratively throughout. And I think, it shaped me and it helped me learn to be organized. I'll be honest, when I went to college, I was all about sports, and I was not a straight A student, but it taught me organization. And especially in my current job as athletic director, organization is so important. And of course, and this is probably cliche, but you learn how to work with and deal with all different kinds of people and just being, part of a bigger team.
Absolutely. So the CCIW began sponsoring women's athletics during your time as a student athlete. What do you remember most about that transition, and what positive effects did it have on you and your teammates?
I remember it pretty well. My freshman year was the only year we weren't in CCIW, so my sophomore year we transitioned to that. And I remember when we found out, being really excited about it because it was the same conference that the guys were in. Mm-hmm. And it just made us, at least I felt like it made us like we're all in the same conference. I think it was important. We're all equals. And I knew the CCIW pretty well. 2 of my brothers graduated from Carthage and were athletes. One was a football player, one was a baseball player right before I got there. So I had been around to all the schools, and I always thought it was really neat, all the different schools, and I was proud to be able to be part of the CCIW.
What was your most memorable experience competing as a student athlete?
That's a tough question. I guess I think about the different national tournaments. I was able to go to NCAA a few times, and that was always really special, and to finally place, and it was in a goal. But I also think about, and actually it's kind of weird, but I've always remembered this as a volleyball player. I believe it was my junior year. Mm-hmm. We weren't the greatest team. And Elmhurst, I believe, was 2 years before were national champs, and maybe the year before they were second. They were one of the top teams in the country. Mm-hmm. And we lost, but we went 5 games with them. And I remember it was like a long match. We played so hard. And we were just, we were mad we lost, but we looked back and it was just so exciting. And you think one of the highlights was a loss, but I just remember how hard we worked. And it was like over a 2-hour match. It was, and it was just really fun to be a part of it.
So you touched on earlier about how athletics helped make you a more organized person. How did you manage, being a 2-sport athlete while you were in college?
Well, Carthage, they were such a big help. Being at a smaller school, I think was a benefit. And I had teachers, professors, and coaches that helped me and worked with me, to make sure I stayed on top of things. Of course, my parents always did that too. Mm-hmm. And just having also good teammates, that some of them were really excellent students and good athletes. And I kind of was like, well, I need to pick it up, and just by mirroring them sometimes, and putting a little more effort into the schoolwork part, and just figuring out, and part of it was maturity, figuring out like how to manage both.
So how would you say women's athletics has been able to evolve since your collegiate days?
I think back at the time, I never thought like, wow, the guys get this, the guys get that. I was just happy to be an athlete. And I never thought, and I think it was the mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And it hadn't been that long that there were athletics, college athletics and high school athletics, and I was just happy to play, and just, but then I look back at like the guys, there was not the opportunities that the athletes have now. And at the time I didn't think, oh, I don't have these opportunities. When I look back, I still look back completely fondly about everything, but it's nice to see there's so many more opportunities for girls, and, the young girls and the women in athletics. It's just changed so much. There's just so much more there. You don't always have like the back gym or the upper gym to practice in. You get equal, and you get to play on the big court and do all that, where that always wasn't necessarily the case in the past.
Yeah, you've touched on that a little as a follow-up to that last question. What are some of the other ways that women's athletics and girls' athletics are supported now versus back when? You touched on the not playing in the back gym anymore. Are there other things that you've noticed?
Well, I think back when I was in high school and even college, there wasn't a ton of sports. There was, volleyball, basketball, softball, track, swimming, cross country, and that was about it. There was probably golf and tennis, but now, like at the school I'm at now at Warren, there's 16 women's sports or girls sports, and so many more kids can participate. There was no such thing as water polo and lacrosse and all that in the 80s. And now these kids have so many more opportunities. So many more girls have the opportunity to be athletes. And I think that's nothing but a great thing.
Mm-hmm. And just lastly, what advice would you offer to any collegiate student athlete, or even a girls athlete that you know of in high school?
I think for a high school athlete or younger, my advice would be don't specialize. Mm-hmm. Play as many sports as you can. And I think, there's a few sports that really are specialized and really can't be helped. But most sports, you can be a multiple sport athlete. And sometimes they get caught up in, I have to specialize in one so I can be a college athlete. Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily the case. I think college coaches look at kids that are multiple athletes, mm-hmm. And show that, diversity between sports, that they can do all these different types of things. And it just shows the athleticism, and it's fun, mm-hmm. It's fun to do different things. And if you're really good at one, you're still going to be really good at one, even if you do a different sport. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that's the most important part, mm-hmm. for them to just do more.
Sure. How about for a intercollegiate women's athlete?
Just, and have fun, enjoy it. It's such a great opportunity. And I would probably say a lot of collegiate athletes now, with COVID, probably realize what an opportunity it is. Mm-hmm. I never could dream of like saying, no, your season's not going to happen. That's even hard to fathom, even though I'm living through it, here at the high school. I couldn't imagine that. And I think they probably have a different appreciation for it. Mm-hmm. So maybe that was a good answer before COVID, but, mm-hmm. Just have fun and appreciate it, and just soak in every moment of it.
Well, Becky, I just want to thank you for your time this afternoon. And I, on top of that, want to wish you all the best, and your students and staff at Warren Township High School the best as you navigate through this pandemic. So hope all goes well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.